Okay, so let's talk about your add-on challenge. So for the assignment, click that link. So here's your add-on challenge. What I want you to do is create 3 lessons. Okay, you're going to do this based on the Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Form add-on. So you're going to select an add-on for Google Docs, a different add-on for Google Sheets, and a third add-on for Google Forms. Okay, so the first thing is I'm going to want you to sign up for these. So if you go to my website, if you go down to the topics, the files, here's the Google Docs sign-up sheet. So what I need you to do is once you choose your Google Docs add-on, you're going to come here, type your name, then type the add-on. That'll be the topic of your video lesson. So I just want to be clear, I don't want add-ons to be repeated, so first come, first serve. Right, so that'll be for Google Docs. And obviously for Google Sheets, you just click the Google Sheets. Same thing, type your name, and then type the Google Sheet add-on that you've selected. Again, no repeats. And then Google Forms, exactly the same. So click the link. So type your name and then type the Google Form add-on that you've selected for your video lesson. I just have a couple notes here because the Google Forms, the add-ons are a little different. So the puzzle piece is a little new, but remember you can't click the puzzle piece, you have to go to the 3 dots, right, to get your add-ons. All right, so that's how you can sign up. Just make sure that you're doing the correct sign-up form. So if you have a Google Doc add-on, then you go to the Google Doc sign-up form. All right, so then I'll want 3 video lessons. So 1 for each, Google Docs, Google Sheets, and then Google Forms. Okay, and you can use whatever screen capture you want, and you can edit them however you want. But the topics need to be how to install the actual add-on, and then how to use the actual add-on. Okay, when we talk about how to use them, give verbal descriptions. So it's a video, so you'll be talking through verbal descriptions. But since it is a video lesson, actually demonstrate physically how you're going to use the add-on. So load the add-on, and then open the add-on and show how the add-on works. Okay, make a note. You're going to be graded on the actual quality of your lesson and the quality of your video. So you know how to edit videos. So if you say a lot, or you stammer, or you sneeze, or there's a dog barking, you need to edit that stuff out. So be graded on the quality of your video. Okay, for each lesson, you're going to also create an assessment. You're going to use Google Forms to create these assessments. And now these assessments are supposed to be a check for understanding for your lesson. So in each assessment, I want a prompt for the student's name. I want a prompt for the student's email address. Remember, we have to include email address if we're going to email grades, if we're going to use Flubaroo. Okay, and then I want 5 questions related to your lesson. Right? And they have to be related to your lesson because this is a check for understanding. And then once your peers have taken your lesson, I want you to create an answer key. Then I want you to grade each student's assessment. You're welcome to use Flubaroo, but no one says that you have to. Since this is the purpose of Flubaroo, I would recommend it, but your hands aren't tied there. You can grade them however you like. Then I want you to generate a chart of the responses by question. If you're doing Flubaroo, you could just generate the report from Flubaroo, because Flubaroo will just do each student's score, right? It won't do it by question, but that's okay. So if you're using Flubaroo, the report's fine. Okay, and then for each lesson, I want reflection questions. I want you to answer these 3 questions. So the first is, you gave an assessment, a check for understanding. How did the students perform in your assessment? So do you feel like they understood what you were trying to teach them? And then the second question, are any remediations necessary? So if they didn't get something, should you change something, right? Do you have to go reteach something? And then lastly, what would you change about the lesson? So what's one thing you would change about the lesson? And no lesson's perfect, so if you say I wouldn't change anything, then I would question that, right? So there's always something you would change in a lesson. All right, so sharing. So how are we going to share all this? So first thing, I want you to create a new navigation bar called add-on. So this would be your sidebar, so do a new sidebar navigation. And then create a new web page, right? Call the web page add-on again. And now put this web page, put a link to this web page underneath that navigation bar. So you're going to have an add-on navigation bar and a link under that add-on navigation bar, which will be add-on web page. All right, you're going to have 3 lessons. So you're going to have a Google Doc, a Google Sheet, a Google Form add-on lesson. And within each one of those lessons, you're going to have these 5 things. Okay, and I'll explain that in a second. So just make sure that when you do one web page for all 3 of these lessons and all 5 of those links, you have to organize it somehow. So organize it in some type of user-friendly manner. And then for each one of these lessons, you're going to actually have a lesson. This will be your video. And I want to link to this lesson, right, to your video. You're going to have an assessment for the lesson. I want to link to that too. And I want to link to the live form, not the one in your Google Drive. Okay, you graded the assessment, so you have a Google Sheet of some sort. I want to link to that as well. And then you actually produced a chart. Okay, I don't want to link to your chart. I actually want your chart displayed on the web page. Okay, so the first 3, I wanted just links to all that stuff. And now the last 2 I want displayed. Okay, and then finally I want the answers to reflection questions. Okay, so on your web page, you'll have a Google Doc area, and then you'll have all 5 of these. And then you'll have a Google Sheet area, and then you'll have all 5 of these. Then you'll have a Google Form area, and all 5 of these. Okay, and that'll be what your web page will look like. And the final part of this challenge is peer evaluation. So now what I want you to do is go visit your peers' web pages. Right? So go to their websites, go to their add-on web pages, watch their video lessons, take their assessments, and I want you to evaluate their lessons. And to evaluate their lessons, you're going to go to my web page. So if you go to my web page, the next part here are peer evaluations. Okay, so if you click this is a Google Sheet where you're going to evaluate your peers. So the first one is the totals, and you can see it's locked here, so I locked the permission so you can't actually edit this even if you wanted to. So what I need you to do is find the tab that has your ID number. So if you're ID 279, you click this tab, and then you'll go to Sarah's and you'll click on this and you can go to her web page, look at her Google Doc lesson, and then you'll rate her from 0 to 5 on the content coverage, the video quality, the assessment quality, and just overall lesson. So you'll rate 4 categories, 0 to 5. Then you go to Sarah's Google Sheet lesson. You'll watch the video, do content coverage, video quality, assessment quality, and overall lesson. All right, so this will be for the Google Form lesson. And then you'll go to all your peer websites. And then also, if you would, evaluate your own. The ID number here is so you can be anonymous. So then obviously, if we have everybody filled in except for one person, we know who that is. So just go through and put scores for yourself as well so you can stay anonymous. Okay, but click on the tab that has your ID number, and then you'll fill out your evaluations. Okay, and if you get to a website where there are no lessons, then obviously you just put zeros for those people. Okay, or you can just leave them blank. All right, so if you do see websites without actual lessons, just leave them blank. All right, so that's how you're going to evaluate your peers. All right, one thing I want to note here, okay, your assignment. So obviously people are going to be taking your assessments when you post your lessons. And since lessons aren't due until the 14th, so all lessons will be due on the 14th, which is this coming Tuesday, then grading can't happen that day. So you'll have an extra day to grade. All right, so everyone should take and evaluate their peers on Tuesday. And then you'll have time once you get assessments and you get responses to grade and then post those by 6:15. So post those by Wednesday. Okay, so you have kind of a day lag so you can grade assessments. Okay, so there are 2 parts to your assignment. You're going to do your add-on challenge, which are your 3 lessons. Then you're going to evaluate your peers. Okay, and there's a day lag for you to grade assessments. And that's it.